Welcome G. Let's start Java tutorial. So today I'm discussing on arrays. Okay. Show array. What is array? First we discuss and also discuss what the basic concept and also discuss about the syntax and semantic and write some program as well as so you feel comfort how you are using the array. So as a per definition, array is a container object. So we notice that array is an object, okay, that's hold a fixed number of values of single type or same type. This is the definition. Array is a object. The object hold the fixed number of values and all the value would be the same types. If same type means if you are holding the value of integer, the all should be integer. The value of array of a string, the all should store the string. If the array of float, the all the numbers are a floating number. And B ensure that this is an object. This is not an something primitive data types. This is the object. Okay. So array is an object, a container object that hold the fixed number of value. We have noticed a fixed number of value. Whenever we are going to create the array object, you have to specify the size. Ki I want to create the array for a 5 element or 6 element, a 7 element. Okay, so here the length of array established when an array is created. So whenever one array is going to create or allocating memory at that times, the length of array you have to specify. And after creation, its length is fixed. Means once one array is create, that's size or length is fixed. So uh, let's example ki if you want to create array. So let's example for a marks. If a student have a marks, so you are declaring a let's key integers mark. A student generally have study multiple subject. He studies maths, Hindi, English, social science, and all subject have a marks. I mean, let's kick it here: 50 numbers, 60 number, 70 number, 80 number. And so for storing all the marks, so we cannot declare variable for like one variable for Hindi subject marks, one variable for English subject mark, one variable for math subject marks, one variable for your like social science marks. Instead of creating lots of variable and that all variable holding the only marks, 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 marks. So in future, let's key you have to instead of creating let's key student study the seventh subject. So instead of creating a seven variable of marks, all the marks are a number. So in this scenario, not create why not creating one variable that hold all the marks. So in this scenario where you want to store same types of multiple value, that case instead of creating the multiple individual variables, and so you can create one variable placeholder that store all the value. So here help us creating an array of marks. The array of marks, all the marks of the subject are stored in this one container. Okay, so similarly, in the array have some few words you have to know. First, array have a length. Okay, here in our example, like so in the case of marks, we have a seventh subject. If student study, we are creating the marks of 7. And here in the case of let's example array of 10 means here you can store the tens value, value 1 2 3 4. But when we are store this value in this array, So how will you get access? Here you can declare especially key this is the English marks variable, math marks variable, social science marks variable. So instead of getting we have given the unique identification name. So if we you are store these numbers marks in array, say, and then how you uniquely identify key this is the marks of which subject, this is the marks of which subject. So for that they have a concept of index. Okay, index. And generally arrays index start from your 0, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 number of element. If you have a 10 element, so your starting element and you can get from the 0 positions, and your last element you can get from your 9 position. So this is known as the first index and your last index. And what the value you are putting here, that value generally considered as an element. Okay, sometimes take the element. Generally array hold the data or value that is known as element as well as, and the particulars value are stored on which positions. So this positions, this is in this case of this value are stored in the positions of 8. So this is the element at index 8. So you can see that each value are stored at the particular index, and from particular index you can access those value. So it's clear. Array have a one first thing, array have a fixed size of a, this is the 10 that you have to cure, and array stores the hold the list of a fixed number of values, that value known as elements, and each value are uniquely identified by its index positions at which index they are stored. If you talking about how you can actually syntax and semantics, so these are the first you have to create your uh, declare an array of integer. Means ki which types you are value hold, you are going to holding the value of integer, or holding the value of float, or character, or strings, or of any particular object. So whatever kind of values you are going to that is specified in the, this is the data types, and this is the curly brace and start. This indicate this is your, we are going to declare a variable like a array, and this is the variable name. Okay, and once you declare variable, then you are going to allocate to memory. Okay, and the size, how many elements you are going to store here. So in this case we are declaring a, in this syntax. Okay, this is the, we use the new keyword because a region array are an object, and whenever we are going to store object in a memory, to allocating memory for that we use the keyword new. And new, then specify key for which data types we are getting for integer data types, and size, number of element you want to store in this array, that is known as a size. So first you declare your declare your array, then you create object, you can say create object, or you can say create allocate memory. And the third steps about to initializing what the actually value let's say you have created here first file size 4, then what the value should here, what the value here. So how to store the value here, just specify your array name, and on which positions you are going to store value on these positions, what kind of value you are assigning here. This is 100. 100 should be your data type like an integer. So in this way you can declare array, allocate memory, then initialize. Let's look in our code as well as, let's we are declaring the array of integer like so I want to declare like your int uh, int marks. Okay, so here we have declared integer marks on, let's when we are going to create an array object, create an object of array, create object of an array of 10 elements for integers. So you have to create your variable names equal to your new keyword used to create your object, and the data types I want to create for integer, and the size, let's key student study the seventh subject, you specify the seventh, and then your semicolon. Okay. Eh, but here be ensure that we are declaring array, so you have to specify the curly braces here. Okay, and this way you can your create the object here, declare the variable and create the object. And now how you going to initialize the value, how going to initialize the value? So here I am going to say marks 0 positions, and this marks student to get a 70 marks, and marks let's 1 positions, they are storing like the 65 marks. Marks of let's say 2 is stored is 90 marks. Marks of let's 3 are storing 80 marks. In this panel you can initialize the your array. After initialization, last step key your uses, how you are going to basically use of those array. So let's I want to display all the just accessing those elements. So similarly marks of 0, you can declare marks of 1, marks of 2, marks of 3. So this is the way you can. So here you are able to access your all the marks. So here in the if you are going to declare any variable, then only the declaration first you declare any variable like integer x, and after that you are going to initialize here, initialize something like that, and then you are accessing. So in the case of variable, normal variable declaration, you are just declaring and initializing and accessing. But in the case of array, these are primitive data types. It's not the kind of object. But this is the array is the array is an object. Okay. For if you are going to use any object, first before using you have to create the object. The first declare this is the variable in a marks variable in a object, and then second steps you are going to create object. Creating object we have to use the keyword your new keyword, and then specify how many number of element you are going to create object, and what the data types, this is the entry. So while creating array object we specify the new keywords for creating object, and specify the data type for which the value you are going to hold integer, and number of element you are going to store in this array, that is size. And third step after creating object you have to initialize with the initial value, what the value. If you have created the placeholder, first you are specify the creating marks declaring this is the variable. Second you are allocating memory, you are allocating memory for this element. Okay, second step. Third step you are initializing some value, you are initializing some value. Okay, and fourth step you are trying to access those, means reading from here, reading from here, reading from here, reading from here. So this is the basics and syntax way. Be ensure that whenever you are going to use array, be ensure this is the 4 point always. First you have to declare your variable, second you have to create object, third you have to initialize the your element, then array, and then you can access. This is the 5 steps. Okay. So let's discuss some detail actually more about that. declaring variable to refer an array. Okay, so first things, array in a object. Objects are stored in your memory. Okay, heap memory, basically heap memory objects is stored. For referring it, you have to create some variable. That variable, if you are not creating one individual object, that means only one reference variable, but you are accessing the object as an array element, then you have a declaring variable as a array types and specify the which data types you are going to store. So as we declare, we have to first declare this is the array name. The name of array names should be follow. Array name can be anything you want, but it follow the rules and the convention as we discuss about the naming, how to write the names of variable. Okay, so all the variable naming convention rules follow here to creating a variable names. And if you are want to declare variable, you are and that is the array types, you are giving the name. First you have to identify the which types of value you are going to hold. You say I am going to hold the value of integer, or I am going to value of float, a character. So that is your data types, and this is specify, this is a special symbol that's in inform compiler, so it's an array. So look like the declaration of variable of other types. The array declaration has a two components. Okay, first array types, this is the array data types, and the third is the array name. So this is the name of variable and your data types. Array types is written as a your types and this array symbol. uh, Type is the data type, maybe integer, float, double, anything. Float, types of a contained element, you watch the data they are the particular array are going to store. Okay, and the brackets are a special symbol indicating that this variable holds the array, not the. If you are not specifying this opening and closing brace, that this is the normal variable. If you specify this variable, this indicate compiler it's a array variable. Okay, so which is why the brackets are empty. Okay, here the you are not specifying any size, just indicating the compiler this variable is array types. Okay, and with the variable of other types, declaration does not create any array. Okay, it simply tell the compiler this variable will hold an array of a specific type. So whenever you are writing this syntax here, they are not going to create any object in the memory. Okay, here just tell the compiler programmer want to create one variable, that's the kind of array variable, only indication here. Okay, and you can declare a variable for any other data types, like if you want to create a array of byte, array of short, array of long, array of float, array of double, array of booleans, array of carry, array of single, yeah, array of your customized object as well as. Okay, so because you can hold list of value of any data types, you can say maybe primitive data types or a non-primitive or user-defined data type. You can create one class, maybe my class is the accounts or multiple accounts, you can make an array. So the sometimes we also the place of brackets after the array. You can also create like a float and a variable name, and here in the last you can specify as a you can say bracket. This is also compiler accept this is the array variable, but the this kind of a syntax generally discourage, as a convention discourage him. So convention, by the convention the rule discourage this form. Okay, the bracket identify the array types and should appear with the types variable. Okay, this is the variable, but which types of variable? Simple variable, array variable. So this is with the part of your data types. This is a part of float. So here should be, you can specify here float is the types of array of floats. not the compiler support both. Compiler support both you can use, but as follow the some rules and best practices. So as per the more clearance, you have to use give the preference always to this, but compiler support the both case. If we can also here write like if you write here like integer float abc, and you can specify here, it works fine. And you can assign the some new float, let it 3 you can do. And you can also do abc and pass some element as well as here 1.2. Similarly abc access one element, and you can pass 4.5. Specify f, so that this is the floating. By default this is the, if you are not specifying f here, by default the decimal number considered as a double. Okay, if you are, this is the, you declare the type of your float, you have to specify the float 4.5 as a literal. And similarly you can access as well as, so as a, so in this way both syntax are supporting your compiler. But as best practices and code clean code guidelines say, if we follow this declaration, that would be the great. This is the way, but this is just discouraging to use the this kind of declaration. Let's discuss more about key detail how mm, as a creating, initializing, and accessing of an array. The be note, whenever you are working an array part, please be ensured these three action always needed. First declare, then create, then initialize, then access. Four, you can say four element. Okay, one way to create array with a new keyword. Okay, so generally we have a look how we can create array using the new operator. Why we use new keyword? Because the array is an object, and our array hold a memory in a, your actually heap memory, you can say lots of kind of memory in the with the java hotspot jvm specific. But currently we just considered whenever you are creating the object, we are allocating a particular memory for an object, the new keyword help us to create object for that. So here what I'm trying to say, this is the one way of creating your object. New keyword specify, you are going to create object. And this is your data types, this is the size. And as we discuss, this is the next steps. You initialize, first declare variable, then initialize with some position, your index number, and this is the actual element 1, element 2, element 3. In this way you can assign the value, uh, assign a value to each element of an array. And the finally steps how to access, as explained. To accessing the element of an array, you can use your array name and the positions of data you want to access. I am accessing the array with the positions of two value element, so in this way we can access the element. And the alternative way, first way, we can create an object using the new keywords, that's good. And this is the concise syntax also java provide. You can use the shortcut syntax, that is the very previously we use first declare the array, second create your object, third initialize, and fourth accessing. Okay, so these are the general sequence we have to follow: declare an array, create the object, initialize the value, and then accessing. So this is the details, the steps we have to perform while working with array. But compiler Java also supports some shortcut syntax. Instead of declaring and creating object, initializing value, these three can be clubbed into the one steps. Just create array with initialized value and access. Second steps we are accessing. So first step, create array with initialized value, a second accessing. Previously what happened? First declare, then create object, then initialize, then access. So the lengthy steps can be used in shortcut. So how this is the shortcut way. Just specify your array variable name and your data types and indicate this is your array types, and start opening curly brace and in the curly brace. And here you can initialize the list of element which you want to hold. So uh, this is declaration, and this keyword is starting and this bracket is specify the all the initialized value. And whenever you are going to this way, you don't mention the size is automatically, the length of this array is automatically calculated by your number of value. Okay, so here the length of array is determined by the number of values provided between the opening braces and separated by the comma. The we ensure that you start your opening braces, all the values should be separated from your comma, comma separated, comma separated, comma separated, and this is the list of value. So this is the shortcut. Generally, if we know in advance, you know I am going to create the element array for these five values, you know those five value, then you can use the shortcut. Sometime we don't know the initial at the time of declaration and array, we don't know what the value this what the actual value are going to store. In this case we have to go only declare and wait for the initialization. But in the case of we know in advance I have this only four value, five value, I want to create an array, so instead you can use the shortcut syntax as well. As let's I declare integer, let's put age, and this is the your declaration, multiple age, and here you just specify curly brace and specify age 60, 50, 45, 55, 78. So this is the shortcut key to declare your array and initialize. And same you can an accessing just access ages of 0 position, ages of 1 position, whatever you want. You run it, and here you can get your ages. This is the sort. Okay, so here what to do, previously yes, previously you declare the first step, create object, initialize, and accessing. Here what you do, here you are declaring a variable name, specifying this is the array types and the holding the value of integer types, and this is opening brace and closing brace. Inside this you are initialize the value. Okay, so this is the shortcut, this is the easiest way as well. As this is only used when you know all the value in advance while creating your array object. So here you are creating the objects of array name as age with initialize value, right? So be that's very handy, and you can write syntax to creating the array object. Just be ensure that here you cannot use any new keyword, no new keyword. Here you will not specify the size. You don't need to specify new keyword, or don't specify your length. Length is automatically determined by your the number of value that is separated by the comma. Okay, and this opening brace and curly brace determine you are going to the create object for the 4 element album, and just assign those into the your reference variables age. And let's this is the kind of a concept known as a you can also declare an array of array known as a multi-dimensional array. Okay, or using two or more sets of bracket, such as a 2 dimension, 3 dimension, 4 dimension, and each element before the must access by corresponding the index value. Okay, so let's and also known the this multi-dimensional array is an array those components are themselves an array. What is the meaning? This is the multi-dimensional array is an array those components or elements are themselves an array. What we're trying to say, if let's this is the okay, let's this is an array. Okay, okay, so multi-dimensional is an array. Okay, array means कि they have a fixed size. Let's keep array of 4, array of 4, array of 4. But those components, they are element. Those components are elements. They have a whole element. So this element itself, themselves an array. So this is an array also. This is an array, and this element also an array. This element also an array. This element also in a array. So this is the multi-dimensional array. So array of array. This is the known as a multi-dimensional array. Sometime you say let's key we have a one array. One array of length 3. We have another array of length 3. Okay. So instead of creating a two variables, let's key you have an array of another 3 elements. Let's key we have another array of 3 elements. Okay. So now you have to declare a 4 variable. Array 1, array 1, फिर a variable 2, again variable 3, again variable 4. You have to declare 4 array variable. Okay, I know all are the same data types. So instead of creating a 4 variable, why not make in a bigger array, bigger array, bigger array? That is the only one array. They have a 1 element, 2 element, 3 element, and 4 element. Here 0, 1, 2, 3 means ki 4 element. So your array size is the 4. Okay, and each element size is the 1, 2, 3. So you specify the 3. This is the one your multi-dimensional array, two-dimensional array 2D. So multi-dimensional array, yeah, array is nothing special. Just when your array variable size to going to increase, you have a one array, 2, 3, 4 array variable, and you want to instead of creating a 5 or 10 variable, you can create one separate variable that hold array itself. So let's say कि multi-dimensional array is an array, is an array. Those elements are themselves an array. Clear? So multi-dimensional array is nothing, just a simple array, but what the element they are storing? Simple, this is it's an array. Simple multi-dimensional is an array. What the elements they are storing? The elements itself an array. Element itself an array. Element itself an array. Element itself an array. This is the multi-dimensional array. It's clear. And in the finally you can say array have a some, you can use the some built-in length property. How to find? If you have a get an array object, array variable name, you want to find the what the number of elements the particular array hold, so you can use the help of length attributes and to determine the size of an array. Okay. Let's in the case we have the, be aware this is the object and you are invoking the property. This is the length is the property. Sometime it's not considered as a key. Length is a uh, length, something like method. So from any object you can access property or as well as a method. So we note length is a property and property access without the curly brace. A methods access using the curly. This is the open brace and curly brace. So we sometime you confuse the object dot invoke length and specify some like a parameter here. So this is the wrong. The length is the property, length not the method. Let's here I want to print the age dot length. So length is your this is the length is a property. If you go to the clone is a kind of methods, stream kind of methods. The method take a parameter, but property doesn't take a parameter. So length, be aware this is a length return the so this age you know 1 2 3 4, this should return as a 4. Just as a uh, length okay. So here you notice that length is a 4. Okay. This is the your array object. In this object you just invoke your length as a property, not as a method, and they return the size. So the compiler itself, here you have not specified your length, but compiler know how with the help of this number of element, how many element you have created. And you know array is always represent in memory a fixed size value, fixed length value. Okay. And sometime we are working on array, then we have a multiple array, one array, and I want to copy one array to another array, some content I want to copy. For that we have a kind of a system class has in some method like array copy method. Okay. You can use to efficiently copy data from one array to another array. So generally the system.out.println system is a class. So system class also provide a basic one of the method is the array copy. This is the your static method. Static method means you can invoke this method from class name system dot your array copy. And here this take this argument. Your first argument is the source, means the array first source element from where, let's this is our one array. This is the one array. This is the source array. I want to copy. I want to copy. This is my destination array. I want to copy the content term from here to here. So this is the source array. Name is specified the source array, and the positions. They have a lots of data. Layer they have a lots of data. So from which position? Let's say I will start from this position. I want to copy this element to here. Okay, so here this is the starting position, and this is the next in the, you want to copy in the destination array, the destination, and the in destination position, from which position you are going. Maybe here I am to copy, let's say I am copying from 0 position, so I specify here 0 position, and the length, how much element here, from here you want to copy one element, two element, three, you want to copy three, this specify three, so three are data copied here. Okay, so the two object argument specify the array to copy from and to copy. uh, Three int argument specify your starting position of source, starting position of destination, and the number of element to the copy. The element copy to the number of element this, and your starting positions this, your destination starting positions, this is your source object, this is your destination object. So this is a very handy method. Instead of manually writing a for loop and one by one you are iterating one data and copying here, so next data, then copy here, next data, then copy here. Instead, the system class itself provide a array copy method, and it's a very efficient as well, and the copy data is very efficient. So please be note, whenever you need a copy some array content, so you have to use this system class that array copy method. uh, let's say here, let's key this is the array. I want to copy here system class dot your uh, copy copy array copy this method. So let's key, I have another array like integer integer your array temp tmp. Just I want to create the new an integer array. Here we just I want to here from two element. Okay, two element, I want only two element. Okay, so here I am my source is the your age, so I may specify source my age. Okay, and let's I want to copy this two. Okay, this two, this is a 0 1 1 position, starting your 1, copy to this is the destination, your destination is the temp array, and temp start for from temp start, this is the temp from 0 position, from 0 position, and the number of element you want 2, and after that just done. And if you just uh, print this temp of 0, temp of 1. Array copy, after array copy, if you look, so this array copy 44 45, which we are planning to copy this element only, to this element. So this is very handy and very efficient method whenever you want to copy array from one array to another element. Okay, so please be ensure this is a very handy method, and this is already provided by the system class. You don't need to another class and library. Just use system dot array copy. Here specify from this array I want to copy. So you specify the source array, and from this array I want to starting from this position 0 1 positions. I will specify here 1 position. Okay, the where we want to copy the data, I want to copy this in temp array. So this is the temp array. Okay, and temp array have a temp array have a, let's get two element, two are of array. So this is the your 0 positions and 1 position. So from where you want to start, I want to start from 0 position, so I will specify the 0 position, and from the number of data, number of element, one element, two element I want to copy, so here is specify as a 2. This way you can easily copy data of one array inside to another array. So here this is the your original array, Okay, this is your temporary array. Here from element 1 and 2, two element I am copying. This is the 0 position, this is the 1 position here, starting the 0 position, and then the two element 1 2 are copied here. So this is the very simple and handy methods. Please be used whenever you need array copy. And this is the example also here provided. If you have a copy array method and copy two methods, okay, and here system the array copy, copy from this starting two positions means key 0 1 2 2. From here they are starting, and copy to inside, and from 0 position to the 7 position. This is the seventh is the element means from where 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 element. So here we are getting the as a output here coffin. Okay, and this is the one method to concat and make a string object from array. This is the string copy method. So this is the very handy and a useful method and very efficient method. Whenever you need to copy, please use this array copy method. And sometime also Java provide this is the system some need some array manipulation, like in need some content modification, sorting, filtering, some appending, some filling. In that case Java have a also provide one new method known as arrays. Okay, java.util.Array package have a method copy of range, and here you specify from where I want to copy. This is the starting positions and the number of element you want. Okay, so here you can also get the same output in this original copy method. So this is the here you don't need to create the new object, and you also you have a pass the minimum number of argument instead of system.array have a huge argument. So please this is also some kind of additional things. So output would both program output would be the same, output would be the same, but with the fewer lines of code. Instead of writing a large code, you have a fewer lines of code, you can access it. And note the here the second parameter of a copy of range is the initial index of the range to copy. This is the starting index from where we are copy from 2, and this is the inclusive 2 inclusive means is 0 1 2. 2 is the inclusive, and while the third parameter is the final index of the range to be copied. Okay, exclusive means ki you have a specified 9. 9 means 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so here in this example the range to be copied does not include the array element at the positions 9. Okay, this is exclusive means ki just include skip your ninth positions. Okay, this is the exclusive means ki they ninth position data cannot consider. This is the inclusive means starting from 2 means ki till ninth position, not 8th position. This is the exclusive. That means ki from 2 count 1, from here 0 1 2 c 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 till here, not the 9. 9 is not inclusive. So this is the output we are getting here. Okay, so b look the syntax semantic, but the meaning is that the java.util.Arrays also provide the similar method, but the concise code and the smaller code, and they have also some other utility method which help us to use. Let's say an example the same. I want just so I want just copy from this element. Okay, this element. So just take here is int array temp 1. Okay, and here just I am using the java dot, small java dot util dot arrays dot arrays dot and the copy of range method. Lots of methods here you can found. First we have a copy of range and which range I want to copy. You can also original and the new length copy of lots of method here you can use. Here I will start from I'm copying from my age it array and starting let's say I want to from 0 1 positions 1 positions sorry here 1 positions and till I want to include this show means key 1 this is a 0 1 2 3 means here is specified to 4 if you want to include 3 what say what say uh, java dot util dot arrays dot copy range from age to to what they return they are returning you as a static method. Okay, okay, it's array friends and you can specify here you name the temp one and here temp one your 0 position and the 1 positions. Okay. In this way you can use also the both are a very handy and semantic way you can access this element as well as from same. So these are the different way to copy your array. That is the here we need to create temporary object and pass your system class and some advanced variable as well as. But the same output you can access with only one line of code. Don't create any temporary variable and just pass your source and your source starting positions and to end positions. This is inclusive. This is the exclusive. Be ensure. This is the index of your this array itself, and you are creating the new array. This java.util.Array class also provide some other useful operation provided by this method as well as. So like you want to searching an array of a specific value like a binary search you can do and simply comparing two arrays and to determine whether they are equal or not they have a provide some utility method as well as okay and sometime filling an array to place a specific value at each index you can use the fill method as well as and yeah we have a sorting method sorting an array into ascending order or descending order you can done equally or you can use a sort method and also we have a from java 8 onward web option to parallel sorting if your array is huge size instead of one threads are sorting your array you can do parallel sorting as well as so the this java.util.array for the lots of utility method just you explore lots of use case where you have to struggle to write a code or manually. This arrays class provide this utility method for the us, and we just know these setup methods array class is already provided. Instead of writing own codes and exploring the logic, why we cannot use the system java library itself the provided for me. So try to explore all the utility method in this java.util.Arrays class. That help us lots when we are working on the arrays. Uh, that's from today perspective. And again, I like to say thank you for watching this video.